So last time we were doing ramp interfaces and we got to a complicated ramp. Sometimes there's stuff that VPX can't do, or is such a pain that you might actually want to use something else. And this is where Blender comes in. So Blender is the equivalent of a free 3D Photoshop. So I open it and delete the stuff. So in VPX, we want to have a look at this bit. I've made this ramp in the meantime thinner, as we talked about. So I'm going to hide everything else. Let's just have this visible. I'm going to make sure all of this is tagged as visible, so we know what we're doing. And then when it's all visible, we go File, Export, Object Mesh. So this will export the entire table that it can see at this moment of time to a 3D file. So we'll export this. Now you open up Blender, go to File, Import, Wavefront Object. You'll have to go through this. It's a little bit complicated, but see. So go to this little arrow up here, View, and change the end to 100,000. Otherwise, you just can't see anything. Zoom out with your mouse wheel. Hold down your mouse wheel to turn it around. So here's our map. Here's our ramp in 3D. Click on the background, which is the actual table, and you can delete that. You don't need it. Now, this whole thing we're going to attempt to make as a ramp. So select the whole thing, select everything here. Right click on it. You have to click one of them. So you select the whole thing and then highlight one of them and then click join. Control J or join. And that makes them all one primitive now. They're all one object. Rather than before they were all separate ones, they're all single one now. Go up to here and click edit. Press A to select all. This is what I always do. VPX export things with too many vertexes, which are these dots. So go to mesh, clean up, merge by distance. It gets rid of 525 dots. Next thing you do, go to face, tries to quads. And that gets rid of another load of nonsense. So that's how you sort of prepare it really roughly. So if you remember, we had down here this gap. This is where this is flat and this is ramped. So what you can do is you can select one point, one vertex, and select the second one. So if you held shift and click the second one, the first one you click is the one you want it from, and the second one's 2. You press M, or you right click and click merge at last. So this will move everything to the last one you clicked. So that's now moved it down. You now move, and then you can join this one to that one, and these two to that one. So you can slowly go through and you can merge all these down. And what this will do, sometimes you'll get 2 into 1 and you just click both of them either side and then click the bottom one, merge at last. Sometimes you'll have 2 that are not the same distance apart, merge them somewhere. So you'll start to see now that's actually one flat surface. Now remember, it's easy to get obsessive with neatness on this, because I do, but this is a physical ramp. You're not going to see this. This is going to be invisible. So, for example, the height of these doesn't really matter. So we're going to click the end one there, click that one there, merge at last. The fact that it goes up there doesn't matter. It's still corralling the ball into this area. You can click up here to make everything transparent. So then you can do things like get all of those together, and you can either find which one you want to go to as the last one, so probably that one in the corner, or you can select all of them and then merge them at the center. Sort of really rough and ready, but and what this does is do the same here, merge, oh, merge at center. This is a little bit tricky because this one's got nowhere to go to. So if you go up here and to select a line instead of a dot, you can click that, click subdivide, click back, and that splits it in half. Click on a dot, and then merge them again. Same here. Pick this line, subdivide, merge at center. So I'm doing a really quick and dirty one here because Blender's one of these programs is incredibly complicated and you can make a much better job than I'm doing here, but it's to show you how comparatively straightforward it is. And the other thing is when you make some of these interfaces sometimes they can be a little bit janky and you don't realize, like this one here, and this just lets you tidy them up. So you can like merge that one there and merge that one there. Do the same thing. We're going to choose this line, subdivide it, and then merge it last there. For some reason, it's decided to give us this wall, even though it's not there. It's probably a mistake I made. We can, and if you just press delete, which we don't want to do because they're selected, that will delete them. That was wrong. Get rid of these. Don't need them. Don't want them. Delete vertices. Gone. Yeah, see this interface here is a bit janky as well. So sometimes you can even completely get rid of one. So that's you. It's probably easier just to join that one to that one, and that one to that one, and then you can just actually you can merge that one to that one. It's like a little bit of a puzzle game. Split that one, subdivide, merge these two, and then just have a little shifty. You can move around with the controls. You just really need to start practicing with the controls, about what you can see if it's high or low or anything like that, and go through and do all of that. And then what happens is at the end of this is you will end up with a primitive that you can use instead of the ramps. So this really rough and ready. I mean, I could delete the edge of that because I don't need it, but that's not really important. Select all, face. You can, I think you can usually beautify faces. I'm not the best at Blender, so beautify faces, face, triangulate. So now that triangulating will make triangles out of everything, and there we can see we missed one last. So that's your ramp. Then you have to do one thing you have to do when you're dealing with primitives. You can think you do this in object mode or anything. You select the object, go up here and click face orientation. Right, blue means it's collidable, red means it's not collidable. So you look around the ramp and you go, actually, what's happened is the red means it will fall through that part of the ramp. It's supposed to be blue all inside. So if we go to edit mode, press A to select all, mesh, normals, recalculate inside, it should. We've now got blue all inside the ramp. Apart from there, why have we not got that one there? So in this case, you can select specific ones. So you can select all of these. Go mesh, normals, flip. I know this is complicated and we're going through it quick. You don't need to worry about what it looks like as far as how pretty these are, because VPX calculates its own things just based off this geometry. So object mode, file, export, wavefront object, scared stiff, and then we're going to call this right ramp, or we're going to call it P right ramp. Selected only. If you've got loads of things and you don't click this, it saves everything. Export wavefront. Right, and then what you can do is you go down to here, click on the primitive button. It adds a primitive. The primitive is a 3D object. Import, browse. What do we call it? P right ramp. And then click import. Where's it gone? No, the reason it's gone is it's shot off somewhere and it's massive. So this is the coordinates, the X, Y, Z, where it is on the table, that way, and Z is how deep it is. So we want to make everything 0 because we exported it, and everything 1. Look, there's our ramp. And if we click the ramp, at the moment, editor means how detailed it's showing you that object. We're going to create a new layer and we're going to put it on its own new layer. If we set this to 1, it's now fully detailed. And that is our primitive ramp. So now if we go to the old left ramp, highlight all of that. Oh, it's because there's 2 walls in there. We don't want that. Right, we'll make this invisible. Actually, we don't need to change the material, do we? We just need to unclick visible. Same with this. That one there, not visible. And to differentiate, we're going to lock this one in position. We're going to make the material cobalt blue, because that'll be sexy. It's visible, and it's got physics. And there is our new cobalt blue ramp, which will work as a physics ramp. And you can get it into all these weird, wonderful shapes that you wouldn't normally be able to go to, such as, for extreme examples, we'll use, here's one I prepared earlier. Things like the snake ramp from Guns N' Roses, where you've got a funnel at the end, and VPX just would not be able to make that unless you made it out of about 1 billion different ramps. And you can do other bits and pieces like that in there to do with control the VUC where it goes, the vertical up kicker, have little holes cut into them, have little staggered bits and all sorts. And it's just easier than doing it all in VPX once you get used to Blender. I understand that's quite a lot to take in, but the simple controls aren't too bad. And it's free, so you can just practice. Okay, that's about that.